Hello, I'm Ali Duzette, and today I wanted to talk about intuitive calibration. This is a really good skill to have on hand. Keep it in your toolbox for basically any decision that you ever need to make. Anytime that you need to have more clarity in your life, this is a trick that will just bless you over and over again, and so I'm really excited to share it with you. Okay. Basically, this is an alternative to muscle testing. It's a way to get answers without having to know how to muscle test, without having to be grounded, without having to necessarily be properly polarized. It's a way of just really knowing your own body and being able to sense from the inside what is yes and what is no. So this is a really good way to get answers to yes and no questions. And you can learn a lot from yes and no questions. So this is a really good tool to have. So go ahead and just close your eyes and take some deep breaths and just really just settle into yourself and feel what it feels like to be in your body. Feel the weight of your body on, I'm sitting on a couch. So I'm feeling the couch under my legs and the floor under my feet, feeling the spot on my skin where my skin touches the air, and what does the air feel like to my skin? What does it feel like to be in my body in the place where I am right now? And just breathe it in and feel those feelings. Okay. And now what you're going to do, when you feel very in tune with yourself, you're going to ask your body, what does yes feel like? And take a deep breath in and just breathe in really slowly. And breathe out slowly. And breathe in slowly, meditating on that idea of what does yes feel like in my body. Breathe it in. And breathe out. Okay. This feeling will be very subtle. A lot of people feel it up in their chest. They feel like a rising motion. Okay. In a religious context, it might be described as a burning in the bosom. Right up here is where people tend to feel it. Sometimes up here. And when they breathe in, it feels like something is moving upwards. And it might be different for you. But that's just something, if you're having trouble feeling the feeling of it, see if that helps you identify the subtle change. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can kind of shake it out. And now we're going to find out what no feels like. So go ahead and close your eyes again. And breathe in and ask your body, what does no feel like? And breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, what does no feel like? And breathe out. And a lot of people report kind of a lowering feeling, like that things are sinking downward instead of moving upward. And a lot of times they'll feel it in their lower abdomen. And so you get a yes that feels high and a no that feels low. So a good thing to practice is to just practice this. Just practice asking body, what does yes feel like? What does no feel like? And just do it once a day or even twice or 3 times a day if you think about it. And doing it semi-regularly for a week or two, once you really feel what those feelings feel like, it will be really easy when you have a matter come up that has an urgent need for a decision. And you can immediately ask your body, which is your connection between your spirit and yourself and your consciousness. You can ask your body these questions very quickly and get answers that are very rapid. And so when, what in those situations where you say, well, I'll need to pray about it. Well, then you can just pray about it right there and get your answer right there. And your body will just know what is yes and what is no, and your consciousness will also know. Here's the fact. Your body already knows what is yes and what is no, and your body already creates those feelings for you when you are asking it any questions at all. It is always sending you the answers, but most people are not in tune enough with their bodies to notice. And every body is different. So some people feel this rising motion. Some people might feel tingles. Some people, and it's kind of like muscle testing. Once I was teaching someone how to muscle test using the sway test, where you're standing on your feet and you're supposed to move forward for yes or backwards for no. But I didn't tell this client that. I just told him to just ask his body what was yes and what was no, and let his body move accordingly. And for this one client, yes meant his one hand rose up, and no meant the other hand rose up. And so for him, that was his sway test, was which hand is going to be moving, rather than is his body going to be moving forward or back. So each person is different, and there's kind of general standards of what to expect, but people are different. So it's important to know what your body feels like when it is trying to tell you yes or no. Another good thing you can check for is, what does a false yes feel like? Because a lot of times we want to trick ourselves into doing things because for all sorts of weird subconscious reasons, sometimes we will want to tell ourselves that this is a yes when it's really not. So go ahead and close your eyes again. Take a deep breath and ask your body, what does a false yes feel like? What does a false yes feel like? So for me, I feel it right in here, in this little band, and I feel it in the very center of my stomach, not as low down as a no, but definitely not up high as a yes. And so now I can know if I'm asking myself, should I do this? Should I do that? And I get that particular feeling where it's kind of split for me, up here and then down low, then I can know this is me trying to convince myself yes, but it's really a no. Or at least it's really not a true yes. Because sometimes maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe your false yes is really just a maybe. And then you can ask, body, is this a false yes? And see if you get a yes. Or you can say, body, was the answer to that question just a maybe? And see if it's a yes or a no. So there's a lot you can find out this way, but this is a really great way that you can get answers about whatever you're dealing with in your life without having to muscle test. This is, I do this in prayer as well, so you can use it for kind of like muscle testing, but also in prayer, where you can pray and say, God, show me in my body how it feels when you're telling me yes or when you're telling me no, and really pay attention. And you can ask God, like, show me what it feels like when I'm being deceived, and when it's a false yes, when it's a false no. And really the trick is just to practice and ask these questions kind of regularly until you get a good grasp on it. Once you know your body really well, then you don't need to calibrate all the time. But doing an initial calibration can be really helpful if you are a kind of person who's looking for answers and having a hard time always feeling answers. So I definitely recommend calibrating so that you know the answers that your own spirit is trying to tell you. It will really reduce your feelings of confusion in your day-to-day life if you can master this. And then, in the scriptures, when it says to pray always, and we want to live a prayerful life, it becomes a lot easier to do that and to feel like you're doing that, because all day long with every breath, you can feel a yes or a no, like, am I on the right track, yes or no? And you can know that if you start feeling a difference in the feelings in your body when you breathe, that indicate that you're on the wrong track or doing something that's not right for you, even if it's not something that's morally wrong, maybe it's just not right for your path, then you can notice it immediately and just correct it immediately. So you don't stray so far and you don't have to make such huge changes so frequently. You can really just stay on your path and just trust yourself. This is a way that you can learn how to trust yourself. So anyway, go ahead and practice calibrating. Ask yourself some questions as you go about your day. Start asking questions about the things that are important to you, and see what your body does and how you respond. And as always, let me know how it goes. I love to hear from you, and I hope that you have a great day.